Hello, hello. I'm gonna give people about a minute to jump in. Someone can just drop in the chat. They can hear me. All right, I am gonna go ahead and get started. Today is a really quick webinar. So my name is Dr. Chelsea. I serve as the program manager for the Region 10 Opioid Council called the GROC. Our formal name is Gateway to the Rockies Opioid Council. This final webinar is just going to be a quick review in CivicPlus. So get to. So on the funding announcement landing page, if you scroll all the way down, there is a submit new application button right here. If you're a renewal, so those are the 4 current grantees, you're going to click this button, but that will open a new window right here. And then this is going to be your official CivicPlus application that you submit. So you're just going to type in what is your public name. This is not, it doesn't have an asterisk, so this is not mandatory. You're going to put your mailing address. Your phone number. If you have an organization website, you're going to go ahead and put that right here. I'm just filling all of this out. These might be different. The name of the organization, name of organization leader, and name of person responsible. We will make my dog the grants manager. And then you have some upload options. This is going to be a completed and signed W-9. It's an asterisk because you do need this. If you click on this link right here, you can get a copy of one to fill out. And then a Colorado Secretary of State certificate of good standing. Again, click on this list and it'll show you how to get it. That is also going to be an upload option. Your EIN, you should have from former tax documents. You'll go ahead and type that in right here. And then if you have a required licensing certification, you will put that number right here. If you don't know if you need this and you don't submit it and we need it later, that's perfectly fine. We can get that from you during the contracting process. Disclaimer of transparency, you understand that all materials and supporting documents are subject to CORA, Colorado's public records law. And then item 2, disclose if you receive funding from other sources for the program or service described in this application. And then 3, do you plan to submit this application to other funding sources? If so, please describe which ones. So this would be like almost an identical application. you plan to submit to other funding sources, or you've already submitted it to other funding sources and you have not yet heard a decision, you want to disclose that information here. That does not necessarily disqualify you. It is just to ensure that we are not duplicating funding lines, and that you understand that if this application gets approved somewhere else and by GROC, you do have to make a decision on which award you're going to accept. And then it's just a matter of copying and pasting the rest of your information right here. So I have a practice Word template right here that I'm just going to pull everything from to make sure it's all filled in. So you will notice right here, there's the funding categories: prevention, treatment, recovery, harm reduction, planning, and coordination, that match these funding buckets right here. Then there is a separate capital option. So if you are only requesting construction costs or acquiring land of some type or buying a home, it does not matter if you think it fits into one of these. You are going to select capital. It will be my responsibility later, if the council decides to fund your project, how to pull from the other buckets appropriately to fund the capital investment, okay? Then you have your project background, right? We discussed that this should be closer to 500 words. So I just have a sample. You can drag this box down to help you see more of what you put in here. Same thing with description of the project scope. Your objectives. I'm going to copy from this one because it's a little bit better. Do not be afraid to use spaces. To create visible lines. Unfortunately, you cannot use like bold, italics, or indent. So do use that paragraph break feature to create something that is a little bit more visually appealing. Same thing with the target population. Then I have a timeline. Just gonna copy all of this. So you will notice that when you copy and paste, sometimes the formatting changes. So you are going to want to go through and clean that up a little bit. So I might take some of these out. There is no mandatory formatting requirement here because we know that you are limited in what you can format here. So again, just kind of go through this, edit this if you want to change some of your bullet points, whatever, again, makes sense to you and is that you believe would be visually appealing for the council. Something like that, okay? And I would go through and I would clean the rest of this up. Personnel qualifications, make sure that you use this specific template with the GROC letterhead on it. And then again, if the format changes just a little bit when you upload and you're at exactly 2 pages on your computer, and when you upload, it trickles onto the 3rd page, that's fine. We understand that that might happen, but it should be clear that there was just some formatting changes that happened. Like if you do it in Google Docs versus Word on your desktop, it might look slightly different in the formatting. Do the best that you can. This is going to be your total budget amount requested, my year 1 budget amount requested, my year 2 budget amount requested, And then I'm not submitting for a 3rd-year renewal, possible renewal right here. I'm just going to do those 2. Then same thing with the budget work plan. That is going to be an upload. You should use the budget work plan template that is provided for you right here. There is a separate webinar on that. And then your evaluation plan. This is also an uploaded option. So you will take that, and I'll just put this file for right now. Oh, I'm using it. Do this for right now. You want to make sure that you have appropriate budget work plans labeled. So this very clearly is not the right document. And then this should start with, again, budget work plan template. You might put your organization name right here where I have sample. Somehow appropriately label the attachment. So when we download your application, it's easy for us to identify which attachments go to which application. If you simply label it budget, and I have 10 applications and all of their uploads are budget, that does not help me identify which budget goes to which application. So again, make sure that you label those. Heidi, there is no evaluation plan template. Please watch the webinar on evaluation plans because I do go over that. Evaluation is entirely dependent on your project, on your organizational capabilities, your personal capacity. So there is no template for that, but it should be in some type of Word document or PDF. That way you can use tables, smart art, Gantt charts, whatever is appropriate. And then the final section is going to be the additional attachments. And so there's no limit to the number of attachments that you can have, but you should be intentional. So if you have additional personnel beyond your key personnel, so remember on the webinar for the BIOSKETCHES, I discussed possibly having maybe 4 BIOSKETCHES. Those should be combined into one document right here. All BIOSKETCHES should be combined into one document right here. Then if you have additional personnel that are not considered key personnel, but they still have something to do with the project, or you mention staff to be hired so you don't have a BIOSKETCH for them, then you would use that organization list of names option to create a potential title for them, and then like 3 bullet points of what they would be responsible to do. And then if you have letters of support or letters of acknowledgement, keeping in mind the letter of support should really be an agreement to collaborate. You should only receive a letter of support from third parties who you discuss collaborating with or partnering with in your application. So if you talk about working with justice-involved individuals, specifically going into a prison to do programming, then you would want a letter of support from that prison that they understand you are submitting this grant application. Maybe they've already been partnering with you and they continue to partner with you in a certain capacity. That would be a letter of support. Do not use letters of support from someone you have previously worked with who says that you're a great grantee and you're good for this job. That's not what we're looking for. The letter of support is intended to demonstrate to the council a timely implementation of your project, like your ducks are already in a row for, again, those partnerships or collaborations that you discuss in your application. It's not make or break. There's no numerical value to these. They will not be shown to scorers in the first round of application reviews. They will only be brought up in group discussion if your application advances to that second round. If you have letters of acknowledgement, same thing, you're going to upload that here. This is really just intended to make sure that your program or service is community-based, not community-placed. So if you are a Jefferson County organization, you currently do services and programs in Jefferson County, and in this application, you're seeking funds to expand into Clear Creek and Gilpin County, you would want a letter of acknowledgement from literally anybody. It does not need to be an elected official. It does not need to be a GROC voting member. It could literally just be any community members that says they are aware you're submitting an application for funding to branch out into their community. They're interested in learning more through the RFA process. That's it. It's very neutral language. There are templates for both of these. So please, I do encourage you to use those templates. Using those templates are not mandatory. You can deviate from them if you have your own, but it is imperative that your letter of acknowledgement has neutral language. And then if you have any type of evaluation results demonstrating the impact and or efficacy of your service or program, you can upload that. So if you have a preliminary report from 2024 of how many people you served, the services that you offered, what your budget was like, then you can submit that here. Again, not mandatory. There's no numerical value associated with this. This is just to help paint a picture of your organization if needed during group discussion. And then that's it. You will submit your application. So I'm going to hit submit. I'm going to get errors because I did not upload required documents. And it will highlight for you the things that you need to go back and fill out. Again, if you have questions about where to submit your application, please feel free to send me an email. Reach out to me. If you submit to the wrong area when I'm sorting through applications, I will go ahead and move your application for you. But any footwork you can do for me would be appreciated. And then that's it. You will get a thank you screen confirming that your application was submitted. And then it will direct you to a survey asking about using the webinar series, utilizing office hours, having meetings with me, if they were helpful, what could be improved in that process. I am the only person who will see that information. I am not a voting member. I probably will not look at those until the RFA process has completely closed and awards have been announced at the end of June. But I do value your feedback. So if there was anything that was not clear, that was confusing, if you would like more templates, please let me know. I do consider feedback as love. I think sometimes not receiving feedback is almost more disrespectful than getting feedback that says I could do something different or do something better. So please, 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 I'm very interested in your input. Fill out that survey. Like I said, I am not a voting member. I'm the only person who will see that, and I will not look at them until June. And that's it. Today was a really quick webinar. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so I can view the chat. I think the only question I already answered was from Heidi about finding an evaluation plan template, which again, I said we don't have at this time. And I will go ahead and stay on for a few minutes to see if there are any additional questions, comments, or concerns. You're welcome, Heidi. Yes, feedback is love. And remember, I am available for application reviews. So if you click on that apply for funding tab, right here, you can schedule a review with me. They're 30 minutes and I go through every single one of your application pieces. I might ask you to just like clarify something. Or yeah, if you have any other questions about that, please utilize that. So yeah, Heidi, if you go to our landing page, Thank you for reminding me. I should have opened with that. We do have a calendar right here, so you can click on the Google Calendar and you can actually subscribe, add to Google Calendar in the bottom left. Subscribe, so all of our events with meeting links will show up on your own calendar. Otherwise, we have the Jefferson County Listening Tour right here. That's going to be in the Fay Griffin Conference Room in the Jefferson County Courts and Admin Building. I have asked people to RSVP, excuse me, just because we are having food. That way I can plan it accordingly. So there is a little RSVP. You can add it to your calendar right here. You can view a map. Jefferson County only is actually going to be 90 minutes. So we will go over the regional council from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And then the Jefferson County Opioid Task Force will be talking about their work and collecting some community feedback from 11 to 11:30. So again, I will explain the opioid settlement and the structure, the difference between the state, the regions, the counties, and the cities or municipalities, and how all those different pots of money and how they can be braided or blended together to fund programs. So yeah, here's going to be Jefferson County is this Thursday from 10 to 11. Gilpin County is also this Thursday this is actually 2 to 3, not 2 to 4. I will fix that. Again, here's the RSVP. And then we will have our full council meeting on March 24th. Again, these are open. This is hybrid. So there's a calendar link right here. And then the Clear Creek listening tour will be on March 27th from 12 to 1. All of the listening tours are in person only. I will record them and put them on our YouTube channel. That way people can go back and watch it. They can leave comments. Again, if you click on the work tab, there is a link to our YouTube channel. Oh, maybe I should put that here. I thought I did. I will link the YouTube channel here, but if you just go to YouTube, view your channel, we are youtube.com/@region10_GROC. So that would be our channel. So it has all of the RFA webinars, office hour recordings, the council meetings and executive meetings are all posted in here. All right, everyone, thank you so much for attending the final webinar. Actually, I do have one final webinar next Tuesday on the 25th. That is, again, only for renewals. But again, that will be recorded and posted. So yes, reach out if you have any questions. I am super excited to be wrapping up this series and this application opportunity with you all. Have a great day. I'm not sure I understand.